Hi friends, this is Calpun Piso, presenting scientific facts with the evidence to back them up, of course. We have to realize that we're evolved mutated primates, product of coitus, and we have a brain. We're born with a blank brain, and the brain is the creator of thought. When the brain malfunctions, is defective, it creates Eifelfieber, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief acceptance, at the core of all religions and schizophrenias. In other words, religion itself is a psychosis. It's like an HIV of the brain. That's the way I define it, as an HIV of the brain. It's an anomaly. And actually, the beliefs of the schizophrenics are no different than beliefs of the rational belief of the religious, of the Christians and Muslims and all the rest of them. They're crazy people. And I'm comparing here what happened recently, the co-pilot of Germanwings that actually went to his death, locked himself in the cockpit, and while the pilot was in the bathroom, and he ended up plunging the plane, crashing it, killing 149 people. And nobody seems to realize why. Well, to me, it's very simple. It's the brain, the defective brain of the man, which was infected with religious psychosis that caused him depression and all the rest of anxiety. And he blurred vision, and he had problems with the vision because it happens. When people have this anxiety, because it's caused by the beliefs that are inculcated in the brain during the imprinting period of the children, after you are born, they're imprinting with this stuff, and they take you to church. Or in Germany, the whole Europe is Psychotic. The whole Europe, the whole America, the whole South America, the whole Christianity-infected nations all over the place. They don't treat believing God as a disease, for the brain disease it is. And actually it is a brain disease. And this is the problem, they don't see it. And this is something that I'm going to address, because the German pilot, the co-pilot that crashed the plane, everybody said that was fine. He was no problem and 100% okay, and because people don't see it. It's just like when you have HIV/AIDS and you're HIV positive, you don't show symptoms of the disease that actually destroys your immune system. It's like a ticking time bomb. All religious people are ticking time bombs. They're crazy people, psychopaths, dormant, waiting for a place to happen. It happens in all religions, and this is spreads in churches. And people worry, they focus on the mental illness, supposedly, or the depression and whatever, anxiety of the German co-pilot, but nobody mentions the 9/11 pilots that were under Islam. And they under depression? And they have a bipolar disorder? Nobody questions that. Where are the doctors of the 9/11 pilots? Which also went into the buildings and killed themselves and a lot of people, over 3,000 people. See? Nobody compares and connects the dots. Everything is due to religious psychosis. One is Islam psychosis, and the other one is Christian psychosis, of the Catholic kind. And this is what happened. And this is the reason I'm presenting this, to compare both of them. All due to religious psychosis. That's what triggered and made these people commit these crimes, kill themselves, and a lot of people with them, to go to a better life, to a better place. Because that's what they believe. They do believe in the afterlife thing. Comes with their religious psychosis. Psychosis, mental illness, does not discriminate. Remember, religion is one of the very dangerous schizophrenia type disorder. It's like an HIV of the brain, of the neural array. Look at this. Theology is crap. It's a psychosis. People that believe in imaginary friends. And look at this. And this guy, the professor, is a doctor. Look at that. medical school, and he believes in resurrecting zombies the same with blood. Look at this. Look at this. Surgery, oncology. Amazing. Look at this. It's disgusting. This guy is sick, and nobody sees it.
I was on a 2-week pilgrimage in Israel.
He believes this stuff.
And
he's a doctor.
Almost all of the Christians. Has anybody been to the Holy Land here?
See that? The guy's going back into the past. He doesn't read that the cross is a tropaium.
Christian sites,
look at this.
Catholic sites, are under the care of the Franciscan order.
It's no different than schizophrenic.
They go all the way back to the time of. They proudly fly to
St. Francis, a lunatic.
The major shrines.
They spoke to birds.
This is the church of the one in the background where this is flying. It's the church in the Garden of Gethsemane where Jesus had his agony. And everywhere we went,
he's a doctor, he's a medical doctor. He believes. Would you like yourself to be operated by this psychotic infected imbecile that believe in resurrecting zombies with blood and crap like that?
The condition of the very stretched. The population of Israel, of the state of Israel, is horribly diminished. Our Franciscan priests are there.
Psychotic people
have huge schools where they're
teaching their children. Very today, in the 21st century, they're still in the 12th century.
Back in 2010. I wonder what you read from that, and also would that have any impact on him 5 years later?
Well, we haven't independently confirmed that, but olanzapine is a more powerful, if you will, antipsychotic medication. So
give it to people in church.
By injection, it's typically given by the doctor. It's not something you can inject yourself at home, or you should be injecting yourself.
What is it to psychotic?
So it's sort of like of the illness. There are other things besides psychosis for which it may be given, but that's sort of the most.
What is a psychosis?
So it is,
believing in resurrecting zombies that say with blood.
I received these injections.
Prophets that run around, demonic possessions. You go to church and you feel like the demons are there.
If this is true,
they're bothering you.
The severe.
And you pray, so the demons. Come on, Gupta, you're a neurologist. See, they don't see it.
The question of.
It's all religious psychosis beliefs.
Could he have been
they're not defined for the mental illness, a very dangerous mental illness it is.
All other accounts, including his emphatic break at that moment.
That's
he was brought up in a German,
for sure, obviously,
Catholic,
this
Christian
where you see
home.
First of all, he's not saying anything. He doesn't.
With churches there, he goes to church. He believes in all this crap, like Lufthansa. People believe all this crap of Christianity. They're all over Germany.
Where essentially
they experienced that in Nazi Germany.
Going on in your mind.
Churches all over the place.
In a psychotic.
The swastika, the cross.
But not expressing it outwardly.
And there are scientists like von Braun and all that, so that were brought up in a Christianity, Nazi Christianity, infected. They showed.
Experts we've spoken to about this as well.
They don't see it.
No relations with people all day and not had. They may not have picked up on any clues because of that, but that's not
exactly, because if he talks about anything, he's already believed that Jesus is there and all that, believing all the Christian crap.
And millions of Americans.
He looks perfectly normal, like everybody that goes to church. But they are inside, they are HIV positive, or they are Christianity positive. They have the disease, the HIV of the brain.
It's just very important here, right?
It's unlikely this is depression alone. People who are depressed don't engage in this sort of behavior typically violent if they are violent, as opposed to all these other people. So the idea, it makes the case, and again, we have not independently confirmed this, but it does make the case that if it was depression plus something else, plus this psychosis, plus something that caused a break in reality, that would
religious, like happening in 9/11.
Senseless, very successful, and live productive
religious
lives.
Emphasize that deep believing God creates this depression and creates all this anxiety and creates all this bullshit. Let's go back to 9/11. Ask yourself, the pilots flying this plane here, just like the German psychotic, that everybody says depression and all that stuff. No, he did it because of religious psychosis, plaguing him, giving him depression, anxiety, and the whole works. Because it's all together. When you're brought up in a religious home, religious country, a religious nation, you have a problem, because these things can become full blown, and nobody noticed that it's the religious psychosis. Like in this case was Islam psychosis. And these people, they were, did they take antidepressants, the Islam Psychotics? Did they go see doctors? Did you interview the doctors of Muhammad Atta and the rest of the 9/11 pilots? These people they were very well educated. They went to train school in Phoenix, in Arizona, just like the German co-pilot, the Psychotic, and they learned how to fly the planes to go and do this. They did this on purpose. There were not only 150 people killed and somebody knocking at the door trying to get into the cockpit. No, they were very calm and composed, and there were many crews on 4 planes in the cockpits. So where is the depression? This is what people don't understand. Where is the depression? Where is the anxiety? See, it's all due to the brain is defective. It's have a problem because it was brought up in religious psychosis infected homes. They could not fend off the psychosis. And you go to school, you become a doctor, just like the doctor that I presented, the medical doctor, that believing all this mumbo jumbo stuff. And the same thing with the psychiatrist, the medical health, the health providers in Lufthansa and all the airlines. They can be very intellectually intelligent, but they are conditioned in a Christianity-infected nation, or in this case, Islamic nation. And this is the problem. So you have to ask yourself, in this German case, the co-pilot, he was very calm. He wanted to do this, and he was antipsychotic medicines. So big deal. What about these people over here that invaded the cockpit, took over the plane, and did all this stuff? Why nobody questions this? Why do you concentrate on and spend hours and hours and hours and talking to the psychiatrists and people in Lufthansa and everybody about the co-pilot that locked himself in the cockpit and went to his death and taking all these people with him? I mean, this is... What's so different about it? Look at this. There's 3,000 people, over 3,000 people and these pilots were very happy. They were going to go to the afterlife. And this is the problem that nobody seems to see. People forget about Heaven's Gate in San Diego. Intellectuals, all Christ psychotics. They rented this mansion in San Diego. They did all these rituals and all that because that was during the comet Hale-Bopp that was approaching. And they believed that Jesus Christ was coming back piloting this special spaceship. And then the same thing goes into UFOs, ancient alien, conspiracy theories. Because they go hand in hand. In the moment you're a Christ psychotic or religious psychotic or schizophrenic, that all people that believe in gods, and they go hand in hand with the ancient alien, with the conspiracy theory, with the Anunnaki, and all the rest of nonsense. Scientologists and all, they all have their Mormons, they all have their spaceships, and they have their, their psychosis. So this is what the problem is. The co-pilot did this, Andreas, the German co-pilot did this because he is a Christianity plaguing him since childhood, this Christian crap that gives you fear and despair and all that stuff that he didn't realize what his despair is coming from his Christian upbringing in Germany. And then, of course, he became full-blown, and this is what happened. There you have it. And we are all sexual animals. Perhaps, Andreas, you like to mess around with the guys too, but he couldn't because it's a sin. You never understand the dangers of this Christian upbringing, the Christian crap. It's all in there. And it will create depression, anxiety, and fear. You're not going to tell anybody about it. And atheists don't see that religion is a mental disorder like schizophrenia.
Work that he was very stressed, but the source says that he never said anything.
He went to a doctor because he said he had problem with the eyes.
Being aggressive toward others.
And the doctor said, the ophthalmologist, no, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Before he got his
See what happens?
license.
When the brain's screwed up, you see this vision, you see these things, and you think you have a problem.
But a source I spoke to says clearly he was, given what happened. We know Investor Trashman saying he was unfit to work. That's partly because of this diagnosis that he was psychosomatic.
Religion faced psychosis, the cancer of the brain, my postulated cancer of the brain, is full of psychosomatic illnesses. He has schizophrenia, temporal lobe epilepsy, depression, anxiety, just name it. Look at all this. The proof is here. You can see it. Religion is one of the schizophrenias, a very dangerous cancer of the brain.
As a confession of some sort, something outlining that he wanted to crash a plane, like what authorities say he did, right into the Alps.
See, they don't take into account, whenever you are a religious psychotic, you see things in the eyes, just like when you're under drugs. You see things, you're like a scintillating scotoma, and other problems are in the brain. It's like synesthesia, the same thing, the confusing of the senses. Nothing wrong with the eyes themselves, it's just the brain is interpreting things different. And that happens in schizophrenia and all religions. Religion is one of the schizophrenias. And you can see that visual masking. See? And these idiots, see, they don't realize it because they don't associate religious beliefs with all these crazy beliefs of the religious psychotic imbeciles to a schizophrenia. It's one of the schizophrenia, and that's overview of visual masking. It's a range of cognitive and perceptual deficits, including problems in processing visual stimuli. See what I mean? This is the problem. They don't connect the dots. Just like in 9/11, the same thing happened. These people have Islam psychotics. When you are religious, you are a sick person. You go to a church believing all that crap. You go to a mosque believing all that crap. No matter if you're a doctor, you're a scientist, or whatever, if you believe in gods and all that, you are a sick person. It's like having an HIV of the brain. That's the reason this guy crashed that plane into the Alps. Just like the 9/11 pilots crashed those planes into buildings, and they are very happy about it. And I don't know what language to use, but this is the problem. Christianity is a dangerous disorder. Religion is organized schizophrenia. It's like an HIV of the brain. And if you look into neuroscience, in neurology and all that, you connect it that, you'll see what I'm telling you is a fact, is the truth. And atheists, blind scientists, idiots, they don't connect the dots and they don't see it. That is the danger. And you have all these churches in Germany, all these, keep in mind, a sick brain, a defective brain can only produce defective thoughts. All religious beliefs have bizarre, mythological concepts accepted as true. Exactly the same like in schizophrenia. Pace Diorum.